Well, welcome back to The Megan Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My attitude sounds a little bit different than normal. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of a serious topic to talk to you guys about. I'm a little embarrassed to even bring it up, but I want to be transparent and clear on my YouTube channel, and I just want to tell you what I've been feeling. So let's just get into it. The Megan Show. I have a serious confession to make. I regret my tattoos. I regret getting so many tattoos in such a short amount of time. I basically got most of my tattoos within about a year and some change period, a little over a year. I went from having just a tiny treble clef tattoo to a ton of tattoos on my legs, a big tattoo on my arm, and I think I just went too fast, too soon. So just kidding. April Fools, baby. I don't regret my tattoos. I love my tattoos. I did get them in kind of a quick amount of time, but I love them all and they are for me. Tattoos are for me. That is just something I really want to touch on. This was just a silly April Fool's joke. I'm not normally a prank kind of person, but I couldn't pass it up when Megan Monday fell on April Fool's Day, so I just had to hit you guys with a little bit of a prank there. So sorry about that. I mean, this is a topic that a lot of people talk about. There's been plenty of YouTubers that come on here and really go into detail of why they regret their tattoos. So not making fun of them. I was just poking fun in a lighthearted way, but that is a real thing that people experience. I'm thankful that I don't feel that way. I love my tattoos. They are really fun for me. I really feel like tattoos are for yourself. You shouldn't be getting tattoos for other people or because someone else told you so or because they thought it would look good or not look good. You should be getting tattoos because that's what you want to do. This is your body. These tattoos are going to be there forever. You need to make sure it's something that you like and you love. For me, a lot of my tattoos have been relatively spontaneous, not extremely spontaneous, but put a little bit of thought into for a few weeks, really mulling over some ideas that you want to get before you go forward with that. I mean, a lot of people talk about getting tattoos really young. I got my first tattoo when I was 21, and I didn't get all of the rest of my tattoos until I was 26, 27. So I was a little bit older than some of these teenagers that might be getting tattoos on a whim. There's no perfect advice for when you should get tattooed, but waiting until you're 21 may be a good idea. You have a lot of life ahead of you. Your style and opinions could change in your 20s and as you get older. So just think about it before you get tattooed. Really put a lot of thought into it before you put something permanent on your body. But I do want to touch on another aspect of tattoo regret or tattoo shock. Cell Tattoo right here on YouTube talked about this recently when she got her hand tattooed.
I just wanted to sit down for a little bit and talk to you all about my new hand tattoo because it's kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions for me. Like genuinely, it was really difficult for me because my hand was so swollen and it was so red and it was all wrapped up and it was hurting really badly because I think my body had finally caught up to the pain and I barely slept that night. It was really uncomfortable. Honestly, that night I was really questioning, like, did I make the right decision to tattoo the top of my hand this bold and this saturated? Because it was so painful and it was so difficult. I was like, I don't know if this was the right move. And I'm just being completely honest with you all. I had a moment where I was like, did I mess up? Did I really like F up right now?
It was kind of a shock to get used to, and I want to touch on that with my arm tattoo. So I got this red heart tattoo about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and it was my first big arm tattoo. The only other arm tattoo I have is this really tiny 13 on my arm. Obviously it's really tiny, so when I went to decide to get this big red heart on my arm, it was somewhat of a spontaneous decision. I had maybe thought about this design for a couple of weeks or a month or so. I realize thinking about something for a few weeks or a month probably doesn't constitute as spontaneous, but everyone's definition is different, I guess. Before making the tattoo appointment and going through with it, I knew I wanted to get it on my upper arm. At that time, I had one tattoo on each limb, but my right arm. So I had one on each leg and that one small one on my other arm. And I was like, well, I need to get this on my arm. You know, just kind of random. But I really loved the solid red without an outline and the flowers going through it. And so he put the stencil on, and it didn't seem that huge, but once he really was filling it in, and I'm telling you, that hurt so bad. That filling in that red was brutal pain up towards that armpit. It hurt so bad. But it wasn't until I then saw it at the end that I was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. This is a huge arm tattoo. And it was a shock to get used to. It was like, at first, I don't think I was panicked quite at first. I was excited to have it. I loved the bright red. It looked beautiful. It hurt healing it for the next few days, but I was happy with it. It wasn't until it kind of settled in for maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months that I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of a lot. And taking pictures, this is my right arm. If I'm wearing short sleeves, you see it in pictures. And at first, I have to admit that it was a little difficult to get used to, or kind of just shocking to get used to, but thankfully a lot of time has passed and I've grown to really, really love it. I do get compliments on it a lot. People love how bright the red is and the flowers. They compliment me on it, and I do appreciate that. I do love it. I do not regret it. I'm super happy with it. If anything, if you have a younger sibling or a younger friend that is thinking about getting tattoos, maybe just give them that advice to think about it a little longer before they make that permanent decision. But for me, I'm happy to say that I don't regret my tattoos. Thank you so much for humoring me with this little joke video, and happy April Fool's Day. I hope you don't get pranked too much the rest of the day. Stay tuned every Megan Monday for new videos. Thanks so much for watching The Megan Show. Bye. I have a serious confession to make. My name really isn't Megan, it's Gertrude. What? But I really have a serious confession. This is a little awkward for me to talk about, but my name really isn't Megan. It's, I can't even think of a good one. Okay. All my tattoos are fake. I draw them on every day. I have a serious confession. This is a little awkward for me to admit, but all my tattoos are fake. Is this even funny? What else?